We had like a date picnic night that was interrupted by some dude. I looked over and another car is there. So we have been towed. And do you know why they towed it? Because there's no signs that I did anything wrong. It doesn't have a 2-hour limit. There's no sign that it's gonna be towed. There's no red curb. I wasn't blocking any driveway.
Blocking a driveway.
Tori and I are going on a date. It's about time that we get Indian food, which is kind of our tradition. It organically became a tradition, and we started to realize that every single time we needed some deep healing, it always was facilitated with Indian food. It happened organically. We also love Indian food, but after Zeus passed away, we were in a really dark place, and everything kind of started lifting up after we got this one Indian meal with cauliflower and potatoes. It was so good. And then I feel like it happened another time. Oh, in Costa Rica, we had been off grid for a while in the jungle with no AC, and we're just feeling really drained and kind of burnt out from the go like travel. And we got to San Jose, Costa Rica, got an Indian meal. It changed our lives. Every single time it feels like it changes our lives. So we've been traveling on the southern coast of Oregon. Finally showered today after a week and just realized we wanted to go on a date. I told Tori I wanted to take her on a date, and she was like, babe, our entire life is a date. And I was like, you know what, that's true. But I feel like it's gotten to a point where it's nice to have like an intentionality, like we're gonna go on a date. Indian food for our date, bellies for our bellies. Indian food for our date, Indian samosas.
It's so warm. Actually, it is producing heat.
Is it?
No. I thought it was, but I think it's light.
It's placebo.
Yeah, it's placebo.
I like it. Order this again. You would? Oh, we have samosas. It's Tori and I's favorite.
Oh my god.
Discovered a trick with my candle. So basically, my candle still had wax in it, but all of the wicks were worn down. So I kind of thought that I was gonna have to throw it out. But then I figured out you could light Palo Santo or sage, put it in the candle, and it like keeps it on fire, and then it melts and you just get all the scents. And then you can just let the Palo Santo dry in the wax and it becomes like another candle wick. It takes longer to light up, but once you do, you have a nice little candle. So you can use up all the wax. Good morning. Tori is already in the coffee shop getting coffee. She needed to pee really badly. I made the bed. I always make the bed when I'm in the van. When I lived in a house, I wasn't as adamant about making the bed. I don't know why. But now that I've moved into the van, it's so obvious to me how much having the bed made makes a difference in my energy and productivity of the day, and it just gets the day started. One thing I do procrastinate though is dishes. And we've racked them quite full. I feel like it's so hard to actually do the dishes on time when you can just cover it up and forget that it exists. The next chore I need to do is trash. I've been postponing this for way too long. I saw some trash bins out where I'm parked by the coffee shop, so I think I'm gonna just try to get away with throwing this in there. I've never had problems doing this, but I just try not to do too much in the trash bin. I just accidentally ate dairy at Starbucks. I ordered a pumpkin latte per Tori's recommendation.
Listen, I got a oat milk latte that I always do. I don't really branch out at Starbucks very often because I like what I get, whatever. I know it's vegan. And she goes, do you have anything interesting that you would recommend? And I was like, maybe you can try the pumpkin spice latte. I haven't had that in years, but I heard that it was like good and it's like trendy, whatever. So I was like, maybe you should try it. And so I said, like, make sure you get it with no whipped cream. Get it with oat milk.
You know what? Sorry to pipe in, because I said no dairy, like make sure it's vegan.
I don't think they even knew though.
Yeah, they didn't know.
You did mention that you were like vegan.
I said that I was vegan. I always say this. I'm vegan, no dairy.
Anyway, she orders the pumpkin spice latte with oat milk, thinking it's vegan. I am just sitting there scrolling on Instagram.
I've finished the whole thing.
Yeah,
at this point.
I finished the whole thing.
I was like, oh, that was great. Yummy.
Yeah. So I was like scrolling on Instagram and I follow this account that's called like Veg News or whatever. And sometimes I post like memes, and one of the memes was talking about how the pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks should be vegan, but it's not. And I started searching on it on Google and I was like, pumpkin spice latte, vegan.
She comes up to me and she says,
I'm about to ruin your day.
I'm about to ruin your day. And I was like, what?
Basically, like the pumpkin mix part that goes into the drink has condensed milk in it. Disgusting. So don't order it. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
You can get the apple one though. They're like new apple fall drink. That one is vegan.
I just don't really like Starbucks as a coffee place.
Yeah. We didn't even want to go to Starbucks today. We're about to be in San Francisco. And there's like so many amazing coffee shops there, but we woke up and we needed to get some things done and like charge things because her battery broke. So Starbucks is right there where we parked and we just did it.
San Francisco is one of the first places I visited after I started traveling in the van. The city has a unique charm about it, and it's no wonder that so many writers move here to grasp at the endless bouts of inspiration that seem to be brewing in the city. San Francisco is one of the first places I ever felt that pit in your stomach, chills down your spine kind of feeling when you look around at your landscape and ask yourself, how is this place real? Is it even real? Someone pinch me because I must be dreaming. Colorful flowers dance up the colorful houses. The mystical fog rolls in every night, and there are quiet bookstores and plant shops on every corner. The only dark side about San Francisco for me is that it forces me to confront some of the harsher realities of living in a van. Relying on so little in life is a beautiful testimony to self-sufficiency, but it can also feel terrifying to realize that everything I own is in one vehicle, and I rely on it to sleep at night, to cook, to make my videos and my art. My entire crystal collection that I mined myself is in there, the camera gear I use to make my videos, and all of my assets. And as I walk through the shops and go on dates in the city with my girlfriend, there's this residual anxiety beneath everything that I do. Is someone smashing a window in my van right now? Is someone stealing my catalytic converter? God forbid. Is someone stealing the van itself? Am I getting a parking ticket? Am I getting towed? This anxiety followed me throughout the week as I went to Lombard Street, the crookedest street in the world. It followed me when I visited the house that they filmed at in the Full House TV show. And yes, Tori had to send pictures to her family, who were all big fans of the show. Anxiety followed me as I went to Vegan Mob and tried vegan chicken and brisket.
We got hard kombucha, Sarah's favorite. And this is your favorite flavor, isn't it, too? It's my favorite flavor, too.
When they said butter wouldn't melt in your mouth, I called you up and you came running around. Now we're lovers so many covers apart.
Walk.
Do you want this?
No, you're so, like, your lips are warm.
Oh.
You're so warm.
Jealous.
So jealous.
I'm actually very warm now, so you can have that.
Okay.
Great jacket.
We should be sorry. Why didn't you were in your
I
warm
was
sleeping bag?
Cold. But you weren't giving me warmth for some reason.
Maybe because you weren't cuddling me. We are at Mission Dolores Park. We were here last night also. We had like a date picnic night that was interrupted by some dude who was a very interesting character, to say the least, and was rambling on about how he went to Harvard and was a software engineer, but was like a mega genius, but got the police called on him five times a day because they thought he was stealing something at the museum or that he was being weird or dishonest. And anyways, it was an interesting night. Now we're here again in the morning because we just parked right outside of this park, and I wrote some intentions that I thought I would share. The first one is step into the activist space with courage, kindness, and conviction. The second one is based off the situation with the guy last night, and it is state my boundaries firmly, casually, and compassionately when I'm feeling uncomfortable. In parentheses, the way Tori does. Because last night, Tori was like a superstar. I don't even know. She was just, like, the man would say an uncomfortable comment, like hitting on one of us. Like, he said something about how, don't talk that way anymore, you're going to turn me on to Tori. And she's like, oh, nope, you're going to be exiled if you talk like that anymore here. Or something like that. I forgot what you said.
I was just like, no, you're not going to talk to me that way.
Yeah. And
you're gonna leave if you are.
Yeah, and then he said something to me too, and she was like, stop talking like that. Like, she was just very blunt with him. I just like looked up to how she was handling everything, but I was really uncomfortable and I didn't know how to tell him how to leave because he was a little crazy. So I was like, is he gonna blow up on us if he feels like he's being told to leave, I guess? So I was just quiet. And then Tori eventually's like, well, we were on a date, so I think we're gonna get back to this. And he just like got the message, and she just kind of very firmly but compassionately told him he needed to leave and like stated the boundary for the both of us, because I think we were both on the same page. Anyways, that was kind of a long ramble, but I realized that I'm not very good at that actually. Sometimes I feel like I get nervous, so I'd like to be more intentional about implementing that more in my life.
I think I used to feel like softness was my power. And I still do feel that way, but I feel like in the last few years I've stepped into my power in a different way where I'm able to be soft but still speak my truth and set boundaries.
Yes, yeah. But you still do it softly, and maybe that's why I look up to the way you do it so much.
I'm gonna write intentions too.
As time went on, the anxiety eventually dissipated underneath the excitement of exploring the city with my lover. It was always there, as usual, when I'm in San Francisco. But when Tori and I decided to go to the farmer's market, try on clothes at the boutiques, and have dinner at one of my favorite vegan restaurants called Gracias Madre, I felt totally and wholeheartedly consumed in her. I was there, now, in the present moment, not concerned in the slightest about all the possibilities of bad things that could be happening to my van. Until I was eventually confronted with that anxiety. And not only was I confronted with it, it rose swiftly from the depths of my neglected fears to an immediate anxiety, and then, in the blink of an eye, it became a reality. A very real, very scary reality. My van was gone. My home was gone. Where the hell was it? We just stopped here to get some ice cream. Looked over because our van was supposed to be parked right there. And Tori was like, wait, that's not our van. I looked over and another car is there. So we have been towed. Our phones are both dead, which is a great, fun thing also. But thankfully, Tori just like knew to bring a charger today. I have no clue how that happened. So we asked the ice cream shop if we could charge our phone. My phone's being charged right now. I'm trying to be positive through this all, but I'm very sad. The thing that makes me the most sad is that I'm always paranoid about parking when I'm in San Francisco. Always. Because I know that they're crazy. I've gotten so many tickets. They're insane out here. And so I was in a park on the other side of the street and it said that you can't park if you're above a certain height, and I was like, should I do it? And I was like, no, I'm gonna be safe. I went to the other side of the street. I double checked all of the signs. They don't say anything about not parking. They say that there's street cleaning on Monday. It's not Monday, it's Thursday. They don't even have like a 2-hour limit. So I don't know what I did wrong.
Not allowed to be in a spot for over 24 hours.
But there's no sign that says that. Is it like an unspoken rule? Anyways, my Venmo's at Sarah Yak. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just so scared about how much money it's gonna be.
On the phone with the towing lady. I'm here.
It's $5.93, and then after 4 hours, the storage is $80.50.
And do you know why they towed it? Because there's no signs that I did anything wrong. It doesn't have a 2-hour limit. There's no sign that it's going to be towed. There's no red curb. I wasn't blocking any curb or driver's driveway.
It says blocking a driveway.
We are leaving the city. I just feel like I need to get out of the city after being towed and having to pay $700 just for a few days.
We're leaving!
Just for a breather.
Okay.
But we're okay. We'll be back. And as my friend said, it's cheap rent for San Francisco, $700. So it sucks. I'm not happy about it, especially because I viewed the picture that they put with the police report, and it just baffles me how they were that vigilant that they towed me instead of just giving me a ticket, which are already really expensive in San Francisco. They're like $110. They decided to actually tow me. I'll put the picture here of how I was quote unquote obstructing the driveway, but they're just very strict. If you're even like an inch over the slant of the driveway, then apparently they tow you. So really unfortunate I had to pay $700. I am very, very grateful though that I did get my van back. It wasn't stolen. Everybody in my life is safe and healthy, and I think whenever things like this happen, I'm always reminded of how big of a support system I have around me, like with Tori being so positive and like cool-headed throughout the whole thing, with my friends Maria and Chase, who told me, like, look at it this way, it's cheap rent. Like, if that's a positive twist that will help you, that's a great perspective on it. And with my friend Maya, who said, yes, come stay at my house if you need a place to stay. My friend Victoria Venmoed me $100 today because she knew that that was a pretty expensive thing that I had to pay. So yeah, just a lot of things that show me how many people in my life are here for me and support me and care about my well-being.